nice place.
Isn't it? Offers a lovely view of the valley. On a clear day, you can see the outlines of done time.
Is it, though? A ruin like any other, I think.
So sensitive. So aware. Honestly, what did Detlef ever see in you?
Perhaps he'll tell you himself.
You nervous?
Mm-hmm. It's always a bit nerve-wracking meeting an ex. Especially so when said ex is a vampire.
I doubt he'll be in the mood for jests.
I know. May I be honest? Yes, I'm nervous. I really would prefer just to run off. I gave my word I would help, I know. But how much is that worth? Yet I owe him this meeting. And that is that.
Let's get ready. Detlef will be here any moment now.
Sienna, I have a question I must ask you. Did you truly feign it all? That which bound us was a ruse?
Detlef, it's not that simple.
Oh no, it's very simple. You either deceived me or not. In forgiving you, I grieve. For now, we must part.
哎，这里就是之前的那个缎带起作用了。如果你之前没有从那个这个卖火柴的小女孩那里弄来缎带的话，这里的话就肯定是这个西安娜死了，然后就是一个 bad end。
Ha! Seems I've been fooled again. She will pay for this sooner or later. She will pay. You never should have meddled with her.
迪拉夫一来，看来他也就是早就已经想好了，就是要杀这个西安娜。这个时候你可以选择马上去参战，也可以先做一下战斗准备啊，可以围观一会儿他们，看他们两个就相互无限背刺。我们自己呢可以把这个金药什么的准备准备，然后呢这个涂上吸血鬼油啊。其实呢这个战斗不算很难，比那个打这个十之星的时候的这个欧吉尔德要简单的太多太多了啊！主要也是因为是1对1，再有个伤害没有那个什么那么高啊。然后我们现在的这个装备也很好，哎，还加了很多的这个属性，就会好打很多。你看这是之前拿到这个陶森特的这个装备啊，属性也很好，你也可以换着用它打。但是其实没有必要，所以我们这些方面就不弄了。炸弹这场战斗没有什么特别有用的地方。这个战斗呢有一些小技巧，但也不是很难啊。你这个确保自己没那么容易一下被打死，其实就已经足够了啊。这个战斗的节奏呢也不会是很快， 这个 BOSS 战分3个阶段啊。第一个阶段跟我们之前第一次遇到迪拉夫的时候打是一样的，你可以防反，也可以用法印啊，就最基本的人形战斗的这个跟人形怪打的这个战斗是一样的啊，没有什么特别难的地方。好，准备好了以后，我们就可以开始往前走，就会触发战斗。哎，可以格挡招架防反，也可以用法印把它冲过来的时候推开。哎，看，这很简单的，其实就是一般的这个人形怪的这个战斗啊，是可以格挡招架的啊。但是呢，你就算是让他打，让他打你，也伤不了多少血啊。我们这个防很高，你看他打我们几乎不掉血。然后呢，因为我们这个提前有准备了这个黑血药剂啊，有喝黑血药剂。所以他在打我们的时候，他自身就会受到伤害。我们看，他每打我们一下，头上会伤个10几点血，当然这个微乎其微。总之就是说，也是对他是有效果的。同样呢是这个使用法印也可以将它推开，就是阿尔德推开可以推出一个印值来，也是可以的。其他法印呢就没有什么效果了啊。你用这个昆恩也是可以的。昆恩的话，因为我们看它一阶段伤害不高啊，所以就会简单很多。可以跟他玩一会儿。你看他的招架的话，是所有的招式都可以挡住的，一阶段是很简单的，就可以这样一直挡着也没事。用阿尔德一推也可以把它推开。哎，像这样，阿尔德也可以很容易推开。至于其他的炸弹呢，不是特别有效啊，烧不起来。比如说用这个舞动之星烧不起来。倒是可以让它这个接近火焰，可以稍微烧到一点点伤害啊。好，但是其实我们要是真打起来的话，没几刀就把它这个1/3的血打完，就进入到下一个阶段了。啊，2阶段的时候看起来很猛，我们攻击它的攻击机会有限，但是呢，它的攻击方式呢也是有3种，一个是像这样扎地，然后冒出来地上一滩血，这一滩血呢就像一个陷阱一样，踩上去的话，我们自己会受到伤害的。再有就是它这样召唤蝙蝠啊，这个是最有威胁的招式，因为它在这个我们这个怎么样移动，它都是这个会锁定到我们攻击的，而且这个不好躲。啊，要这个发射出去，而且有足够远的距离的时候呢，我们才能用这个翻滚才能躲开，而且它受到的伤害也很高。还有一个呢，就是它的一个冲刺，刚才我们有看到，冲刺的话，时机合适是可以使用阿尔德把它直接一个打断，然后可以制造一次攻击机会的。最好保持的它每次，哎，它冲过来了，啊，这个精力没够啊，喝一个黄褐色猫头鹰，增加一下这个精力的恢复速度。哎，这招是不好躲的，还得他攻击的那个一瞬间再进行翻滚才行。哎，他这个时候是一个攻击机会啊，他在地上这样制造这个地上这一滩血的时候呢，我们是可以上去打他的。当然，同样这个因为我们攻击高，所以没几下就把他打死了啊，砍几刀就没有了。啊，没血的时候呢，就可以这样空挥来闪啊。他在冲刺的时候呢，只要你对他进行有攻击判定的这个招式的话，就会像这样把它可以打断。哎，刚才是挥剑把它打掉的。一般呢，我是用这个阿尔德，啊，阿尔德一个法印一冲击啊，然后他就把它给打掉了。这个不好，这个翻滚不好躲。哎，这个跳开，然后呢，可以趁这个机会也可以上去砍2下，但是呢，注意砍几下以后就躲开，因为他这个起身的时候也是有攻击判定的，虽然伤害也不高。啊，当然也得看你是什么装备了。我们这个装备狮将熊，防御力最高的这个装备，自然肯定是抗性很高了。 哎，哪去了？算是出 bug 吧。哎，没放出来。他这个砰冲过来以后还要闪现一下，那个闪现那个机会不太好抓。哎，他被最后的那滩血也打到。啊，再一刀就把他打下来了。这个可以多玩一会儿。哎，肯定要这样来一下，一刀就砍下来了。哎，看，阿尔德可以把他轰下来了，然后再给他一刀就差不多了。再打到1/3的血，最后剩1/3的时候呢，就还算是比较简单了。最后1/3的血也会特殊一点。第3阶段的战斗呢，会有一点特殊。第3阶段的时候的你的这个攻击力再高也没有意义，因为呢，它是这个固定比例伤血的，就是说你砍它的话是按你要砍它多少下，而不是因为你有多少伤害。也就是说，我们即使使用重击伤害高的招式的话也没有用，我们反而用这个轻击速度快的动作会好一些。啊，其他的法印啊、什么炸弹什么的，其实都也没有什么太大的用处。啊。他这个血块这一直在骚扰攻击我们的这个呢，其实打的也不算是很疼啊。其实最好呢就干脆别管它，然后硬扛着去直接打那个血块啊。如果你点出了这个剑舞的话是更好的，因为剑舞的攻击频率最高。像我刚才给大家说了，这个是按攻击次数来算伤害的，而不是按你的这个本身的伤害数值。就是有多段攻击判定的这种的话是最好的。哎，我们看到这是一个这个血兽是一块液体啊，我们试试北风，但是也并不能把它冻住。当然，肯定最省心的方法就是先把这个家伙打死打死以后，它虽然还会重生，但是你就可以安心的去打那个血块。但实际上最简单的方法还是这个直接去打血块啊。我们看打血块，如果我们用拜年剑法，哎，这样是看一刀上多少血，其实还不如直接用轻击的速度快。哎，对，它也是可以这个防反的，可以这样把它推开。我们用这个拜年剑法回点血。哎，前面有说攻击频率，哎，攻击频率高就行了。重击、轻击的话，伤害是一样的。总之呢，看起来我现在是这样打。总之，大家打的时候有多余的点数的话，可以把这个剑舞点出来啊，点1点就可以啊，只要能放就好，不需要那个等级高，只要能放出剑舞就好。当然，点的剑舞等级高的话，你这个精力也会高，就是精力消耗少，也可以多放一阵。注意看的话，会知道平时战斗的时候呢，杰洛特砍出一刀的话，左边会有一串小字儿，就是告诉你这一击杰洛特造成了多少点伤害，多少点伤害的。但是我们在这个阶段看就完全没有，哎，确实是因为它是就不是按伤害算了，而是按次数，因为杰洛特每一刀没有砍出伤害数值，而是按次数算的扣血的。啊，最后一刀的时候才砍出了一个伤害数值，就是把他的这个对他本体砍爆了以后，才对本体有一定的这个伤害。啊，最后一个就直接上去砍就好了。哎，拿昆恩顶着可以多挡2下他的这个攻击。哎，本体打出来了。 看最后他这个出来的时候，身上还剩一丝血，啊，这一丝血的话，我们看能不能用拳头一拳把他打死。哎，不能啊，拳头打他都会弹开，而且自身反而会受到伤害。虽然好像没什么伤害，但是会一下硬直。啊，用其他的也不行，法印也不能，必须要用剑击给他最后一击剧情杀。
Leave him to me. Be gone.
I can't let...
I insist.
哎，看起来跟那个暗影长者的这个剧情一样，是吧？这个地方其实就是因为之前那个缎带的关系，如果不把那个缎带拿来的话，这个西安娜就会死。之后呢，我们可以选择是放过这个迪拉夫，还是不放过他。
You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
The caftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Usually wear something different, better suited to my trade. Got nothing against this particular outfit, though. Just don't exactly feel comfortable in it. And I despise formal occasions.
Nothing one can't get accustomed to. Now, be so kind as to stand still. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to drape the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refuse to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience?
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues, just keeps coming up.
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one piece of the puzzle that never seemed to fit.
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Siana planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a fifth victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony. Siana's in the palace. Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Detlef. Perhaps we missed something.
这次的故事呢，我们就直接将把这个事情的来龙去脉彻底的调查到底。
Regis, Bootblack didn't say anything about making deliveries when we talked to him. How do you know he handled the letters?
While you basked in glory and tried on new formal wear, I conducted a little investigation of my own. You'd be very proud to see how I conducted myself. I began by concocting an ample supply of boot wash for our enterprising young friend. I'd observed that among street folk, amidst their society as a whole, reciprocity takes precedence over all other codes, and thus no good deed goes unrewarded. Of course, the same holds true for malicious or destructive deeds.
The letters. What's the connection?
When the bootblack arrived to collect his bucketful, he hinted he knew more. Simply put, we'd failed to ask the proper questions when we chatted earlier. It took a bit more tongue-loosening, but ultimately he spoke.
He admitted he'd handed Detlef the letters. He knew this information was valuable to me. In providing it, he was simply repaying me.
All in all, why not check up on that? We'll go together, assuming we're done here.
I am done, yes. It lies in your hands now to see if you are able to present my handiwork at the ceremony with the dignity it is due. Or if you will first destroy it, crawling about the city's underbelly.
Promise to be careful.
我们去调查最后一项疑点，就是说最后一个这个西安娜的目标是谁？
Oh, it's the swordsman. Good to see you. Here for a spiffing? Dirty boots are a stain on professional dignity, you know. Step on up.
Need to ask you something.
Yet again? Go on then. I'm a proponent of free speech and I will gladly tell you all I know. But why not get your boots shanked while we jabber?
Guess they could use a spit and polish.
Then I shall take advantage as well. A friend of mine used to say boots should be as clean as the soles that wear them.
Clean boots, clean soles. A fine slogan.
How's business?
Well enough. I can't complain. Though it'd be even better were certain folk to sit down for a shine as they stood and chatted.
Man in the frock coat. You passed him some letters, remember?
Why, of course. I'm young, got a mind like a steel trap, but...
If you're about to tell me this information will cost me, forget it. How'd you get those letters?
Beggars brought them.
Why didn't you tell us this before, when we first talked?
You didn't ask about beggars now, did you?
Beggars. Tell us more about them. How many were there?
Why, 4. 1 for each letter.
Just 4? Sure you didn't get a 5th?
I can't count, you know.
Remember anything else? These beggars have anything in common?
What? Come now. Each was different. Some had mismatched boots, others had no boots at all. Oh, I know! They all had no home!
Kid, my patience is starting to run a little thin. Now think hard. Where'd they get the letters? They pick them up? Get them from someone?
I don't know. They'd come, hand me a letter, and walk away. I asked no questions.
Geralt, allow me to ask a question. Listen, lad. I'll be glad to mix another batch of that boot shine for you. But you must focus now and tell us all you know. Where can we find the beggars?
Well, at the shelter, most like.
Where's that?
Everyone knows. It's just round the corner. Up those stairs, then right.
Thanks, kid. For your trouble.
接下来可能会有战斗，虽然不难，但是呢，可以先把这个装备换成我们的这个任务行头。拉索莫尔。
Let's keep our calm. Our calm is exactly what you disturb. Your vagrant spring pestilence. Take work from honest folk and sponge off ducal relief.
看这里面发生了什么事儿呢？
And they've nowhere else to go.
We don't give a flying fart.
You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath. We've tried it, only to tire our lips. We'll use other means of persuasion now. Gentlemen, calm, please. Either get out along with these flea-ridden vagabonds, or we'll toss you all out. Our patience is gone. This place is no longer a rank refuse dump.
Scram! Decent folk live here.
The shelter, them living here, bothers you. Question is why.
Look, Ballard. Another defender of the poor. Fighter for justice.
Damn nuisance. We've our women and young folk living next door, when even grown men fear to walk past such rabble.
Decent folk you mention. Mean yourselves?
Why? Do you doubt it?
Hell yes.
Hear that, Artois? He poking insults us. On our own turf.
We should step aside, good fellow. My friend is perfectly capable of settling this unfortunate dispute on his own.
又回来打架了。哎，这个1v2的拳击啊，没有什么特别的啊，场地也算够，所以怎么样也能打得过啊。就是两个人都推开了以后，再开始这个挥拳打一个人。这个弹开了，再把另外一个再弹开，然后再挥拳打。因为这个把人弹开了以后的这个硬直时间还是挺长的，足够我们去锤一个人。好，小心！哎呦，这个硬直推开的硬直，再来一拳，稳一点，调整一下站位。一个推开，再把，好，一个倒下了。对1的话就没问题了，随便虐。这里就算你拳击失败了也没关系，但是雷吉斯会跟你调侃一下。
I can take a hint. Come, time to go. I thank you so much for your aid. I tried to reason with them, but they'd have beat me blue had you not come along. I'm grateful. Immensely.
What did they want from you?
They are neighbors. Wish me to take my folk, the shelter, elsewhere. They dislike that I help the beggars. I do not oppose going elsewhere, were we to have somewhere to go. But you've come with a problem, have you? My turn to aid you.
What is this place? Poorhouse?
You could call it that. They come here to rest and eat a hot meal.
You help them, why?
Because they need help.
Need some information. Looking for a man who might have mentioned the bootblack in Rue de Garl.
The bootblack? A feisty lad. I know him.
Any of your, wards supposed to meet him recently or soon?
Forgive me. Those I help and I are not so close that I would know. But should you wait, they'll all soon come for their meal. You can question them yourselves.
Sure all your usual beggars will be here?
They're not obliged to come, of course. But they rarely find a decent meal elsewhere. So, almost all in the area eat here.
Thanks. We'll wait. Nice of you to let us.
My dears, I've a matter to address before I serve the soup. These two gentlemen have some questions of you. Pay attention. Answer in brief. For if you draw it out, your soup will go cold. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
Recently, 4 of you delivered sealed letters to the bootblack. I know this.
Does anyone know what the gentleman means? Go on, speak up. Romain?
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all swore.
You can tell me, Romain. You were given a letter and you delivered it, right? Good work, Romain. Thank you. Who else?
I got one too. Gave it to the bootblack. Freshy, he got one. But he can't tell you, as he's not here.
I still have mine. I'm to deliver it 2 days after the Feast of St. Barnabas.
I need the letter. It's very important. It's no use to you anymore.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else see it. That is what she said, and she was frightening.
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest. This man helped me a short while ago, helped all of us. If this individual threatened you, you need not keep the promise you made.
All right, take it. I didn't want to see the bootblack anyways. It's always muddy there.
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well. I must say, even I did not expect this. This time you will see to our Duchessa. It seems we underestimated Siana rather grossly.
Judging by this, Detloff was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzling.
Puzzle complete now.
Alas, the matter ceased to be a tantalizing brain tease and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler. We've proof of a coup d'etat.
Duchess was to be Detloff's last victim. Siana planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion, Geralt.
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Siana, even as she had those she despised killed off one by one, leaving the Duchess for last.
Had she managed to fulfill her plan, none would have questioned the reasons. Most would have thought Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show a hard heart on many occasions, ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Siana murder her own sister? Out of envy? To take power? From an inborn penchant for evil?
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain, you could always ask her yourself.
Think it's a good idea? After all, we foiled her carefully planned scheme. Think she'll even want to?
Talk to you? Would it harm you in any way to try? Some philosophers think empirical examination the sole path to knowledge. I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps Siana locked up.
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher punishment. Much harsher. Think Anna Henrietta had to protect her sister from a lynch mob as much as she wanted to protect her subjects from a criminal. One way or another, she's locked away in a secluded wing of the palace, awaiting trial before a court of law. I'd need to get past some guards to see her. coming with?
Of course not. I shall await you at Mare la Chaise-Longue. I'll not risk entering the palace after Dettlaff and his minions rampage.
Besides, I vastly prefer the company of a simple mug of mandrake brew to that of the Duchess's vile sister.
So, said straight up, it means you're going off to get drunk because you hate Siana.
I've never been fond of categorical statements of that kind, but I admit I could not vouch for my behavior in her presence.
She treated Dettlaff cruelly.
Caused his death in the end, and now this? Atop all that? No, Geralt. I will not go with you. I will await you at the cemetery.
这里我们为了能后面获得一个比较好的结局，我们还需要跟这个西安娜在对话啊，了解一下她的想法，还再给她说一下我们自己的想法。我们去找这个西安娜被关押的这个地方，现在目前算是被软禁起来。宫殿还好大啊。
Hold.
Need to see Siana urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special permission. Period.
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation, urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
The Witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the fifth victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Dettlaff is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Siana, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me, hmm?
Don't know. But you could just ask her instead of sending monsters after her.
There's nothing she could say to change what she did to me, to justify it.
Maybe. But there's nothing out there to justify what you did to her and all Toussaint. Yet Anna Henrietta hasn't given up on you.
Ugh. You meant what you said in the Land of a Thousand Fables. You really want a happy ending to this story, don't you? with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another, and that would be a shame.
Farewell, Siana.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
Let's go. Want to see him too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Your face doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore.
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Siana's 5th victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the questioning. I'll see to it personally. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits. In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, slayer of the beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
Yes, very. Heard a lot of good things about that appellation. Thanks again.
Cheers. In a moment I shall speak to Siana, Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds. As head of state, I must judge her fairly, but she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in. The Witcher will take part in our talk.
I'm not a prisoner, free to do as I choose.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Bitterness consumes Siana. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Siana?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder.
The ministers I can understand.
They'd hated me since I was a child. Thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents had always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Henrietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace. Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished,
I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
这样，除了迪拉夫死了，然后雷吉斯呢也是做出了一定程度的牺牲以外呢，这个对于人类的这个角度来说呢，还算是一个比较美满的结局。
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony, it was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
这次我们就先把这个面具和手套戴上啊。上次是那个面具我给戴错了，是吧
？Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
这里有很多墓碑也可以这个阅读。但是这个墓碑有些上面写的东西还挺有意思，这个大家自己玩的时候可以看一看，有很多。我这里就随便举个例子。然后我们现在就去这个帮他去采集这个曼陀罗根。这样就不会像上次一样长毒性，然后茶叶蛋脸了。
Now where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He's a vampire after all.
毕竟是这个雷吉斯是杀了这个迪拉夫，所以还是被他的这个同类所唾弃。如果说是之前让他杀了这个西安娜，然后放过了这个迪拉夫的话，会是另外一个结局。而且这个当然这个因为放过了这个迪拉夫，雷吉斯的这个结果也不会是这样。但是会是什么样呢？这个大家可以去试一试。这个雷吉斯他刚才也说他别无选择。这个迪拉夫是要杀杰洛特，这个相比于盟友和救命恩人，这个明显雷吉斯还是更重视自己的这个朋友。
So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
豪森特的吸血鬼好多啊。
I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home. On the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
Don't really know yet. Might find the life of a hard-working vintner too tempting one day. Or maybe I'll just stick to the path, go on roaming, staring up at the stars after laying my bedroll at the roadside.
Ah, roadsides, bedrolls, and the sky above. I sense some poetry coming on, which of course brings to mind Dandelion. I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
那么好的，也算是完了，但是没完，我们知道还要去回到家园看一看啊，有那么一点点小彩蛋。
Actually, I'd love to go home.
而且这个还有一些支线任务啊，我们这个主线的故事呢，到这一集是结束了，但是还有一些支线，这还有一点尾声。回到家之后呢，我们的这个管家就告诉我们有人闯入。
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Unexpected as ever. And beautiful as ever.
Won't you even ask why I've come? Or how I found you?
Wouldn't get a straight answer anyway.
Quite true.
Used to bother me, all your secrets. Now I know if you have something to tell me, you'll tell me. Don't need to ask.
I missed you, Geralt. Madly. Come outside. We can hold hands and stare at the sky, like some shitty two-crown romance.
Brought quite a few books. Let me guess. Working on a new spell?
Not at all. These aren't grimoires, just pleasure reading. The Name of the Orchid. A widower for half a year.
Always thought you too busy to make time for something as impractical as pleasure reading.
Because I was. But now I'm not. A few weeks ago, I awoke to the realization that I know not what to do next. I have no plan. I have no goal. And you know what? I like that. Finally, I can stop thinking about politics and focus on what's important to me. Which is why I came here.
Liking Toussaint so far?
The landscape's lovely and the towns are charming, no question about that.
But
the southern sun plays havoc with my wardrobe. To be blunt, wear black down here and you're pretty damn hot.
Might need to think about changing your color palette. Off-white and pea green, for instance.
And I'll wear scents distilled from turnips and daisies. I think I shall simply stay in the shade. And you'll bring me cool drinks. At regular intervals.
Bring you whatever you want. You know, feels kinda strange having a home.
I must say I never pictured you owning real estate.
Was something of an accident, but I'm not about to complain. Yen, back then, before we fought the hunt, said you wanted to run away with me to the world's end. This vineyard, good enough?
Yes, although there's one thing missing.
Namely?
I shall give you a hint. It's large, white, has 4 legs, category taxidermy.
Oh yeah, the unicorn. Fine, you can bring it down here.
I knew you'd see things my way.
Ever thought this day would come? Me and you, peace and quiet, bees buzzing, birds chirping.
I almost regret delaying so long before coming to you. I was quite the silly goose.
You have doubts? Though I imagine it might have been hard coming after me. Always were proud as a peacock.
Please, Geralt. I'm not like other sorceresses to feel that following someone means my wings have been clipped.
Ooh, watch what you say about your colleagues. Remember, it's an ill bird that fouls its own nest.
Well said, Witcher. You're not only handsome, but wise, too. I feel a bit like the cat that got the canary.
Yeah, and I'm... Damn it, you win. This time.
Ha!
How'd that start, anyway? Our duels and wordplay.
Forgotten? It was at a vernissage in Banard. You started it to keep from going mad with boredom. I remember finding your sense of humor both groan-worthy and somehow endearing. Never change, Geralt. I beg you.
So, talk again later?
Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
叶南法以后就会一直在这儿留着啊，跟我们就一起住在这儿了啊，过上了这个什么的生活。之前还有说雷吉斯给我们留下了一个什么东西，我们去看一看。他说是关于这个什么突变诱发物的这个什么什么什么的，他的一个发明。雷吉斯的信，突变诱发器。亲爱的杰洛特，你看到这封信时，我一定已经远离陶森特的国境，你也一定找到了我的突变诱发器。当然，你可以自己决定这个机器叫什么名字，更符合你的品味或这个机器的用途。毕竟你比我更了解突变诱发物。 我利用空间与时间发明了这个改良的机器，现在完成了。我十分确信这个装置相当有用。当然了，发明家在发明的东西按照正确使用的方法之前，没有办法完全有信心就是了。你一定很疑惑，这个机器到底是用途是做什么？其实用途就是如我取的名字一样，突变诱发器可以用来产生突变诱发物。它的原理是吸收生物体，例如你杀死的怪物与恶人的尸体散发出的电波，只要吸收的能量超过临界点，突变诱发器就会把能量转化成大幅突变诱发物。我想你一定能好好利用这样的产出物。然后简单介绍了一下它的这个工作的这个效果，最后的这个附注也是很有意思。这个雷吉斯说他是因为谦虚之举才偷偷把这个突变诱发器放到他家里，而不是亲自这个给他。不过想想也是，如果说是当面给的话，杰罗特一定会拒绝的，至少刚开始是拒绝的。那么好的，我们的这个血与酒的主线的故事呢，就到这里就全部结束了。谢谢大家的支持和观看，希望大家继续关注黑桐谷歌的其他作品，说不定还有一些支线的任务可以做视频哦。